have blood, ain't you?
God damn it, Ralph, get out of here. Go on, get. Leave people alone.
You'll never come back again.
Oh, shut up, Ralph.
It's got a death curse.
It's got a death curse.
He's a real prophet of doom, ain't he? All right, climb up, miss.
All right, we're on to our second feature. I just gotta come in here and just say, man, this movie is groundbreaking. I know there were other giallo movies, slasher movies that started, the slasher trend, but I think in America, Friday the 13th was the first. Wow, the first one that really composed the slasher thing and set the stage for the slow beginning, the introduction of the characters, the introduction of a bunch of characters that could possibly be the killer. Just talking about the opening, that whole campfire, Camp Crystal Lake from 1958, a year before I was born. The whole folk singing, that actually took place. I remember, the Kumbaya songs and things like that. It was like there was no TV. You didn't listen to the radio. You sat there and you sang little songs at the camp. And then Henry Manfredini's, if I'm saying that right, Manfredini, his opening score to the Friday the 13th credit comes out and breaks through glass like it's 3D. But it's not 3D. And the establishing of that music, that signifying Friday the 13th Jason music, the ha ha ha. Before it was killer, mommy. It just is. I'm just gonna let it go and just lower the volume because I don't want to stop the viewing of this. But and Annie was the first victim. There was such a big, and Ralph as the soothsayer. You're gonna die up there. The whole thing. It's got a death curse. Hold on, let me turn that down a little bit. Anyway, I'm going to pop in throughout the movie with what little things and we got a great Tom Savini effect scene coming up with the cut of the throat, which is fantastic. The Blu-ray looks beautiful. That opening scene with spoilers, with the killer coming into, well, not spoilers, the killer coming in before murdering those two kids up in the attic having sex. The Kumbaya kids, I'll call them. I remember seeing this in the theaters, and you couldn't see that there were children in those bunks as she was walking in. Now you can clearly see, and it's pretty horrific to think that there's a murderer walking amongst these children that are just sleeping at this camp. And now you got a nice ride from a very friendly man that Annie meets. I should do a comment. I really could do commentaries on a lot of these movies, and I don't want to get stuck in this because the video is going to be super long. But anyway, I'm watching Friday the 13th, the original classic, and it is just so great. Putting it in, it's the beginning of October. It's the 1st of October. It's about 7 p.m. And I'm going to watch this damn thing, and throughout the month, who knows what other Fridays I'm going to watch, but just seeing the first one in great quality like this, it's not fantastic, super sharp, but it's great quality for Blu-ray. It's so much better than I remember seeing at the theater, and I've seen it on VHS and Laserdisc and all that. There's a burp for you belching fans. Anyway, I'm going to get back into the movie. If something else comes up, I'll jump in here. But Annie's being taken, supposedly to Camp Crystal Lake, and we all know what happens next. So, but it's just so great to watch this again. It's been so long. I didn't watch these movies last year. I don't even think I watched this when I first got the Laserdisc, but the Blu-ray. But Elston Oil Company. There's so much little things in here. Anyway, I'm going to go. Maybe I'll tune in later. Let me turn it off. Bye. Wow, before anything ever happens, we all had a thing for Alice.
When did you do this?
Last night.
Little did we know how synonymous this musical theme would continue on through the whole series of Friday the 13th movies. That Harry Manfredini, man. Oh, here we are. Here's the famous scene. We got to show it. Let's show it. Savini's fantastic effects. Look, it was beautiful. That's beautiful. For its time, that I remember seeing that in theaters. That the audience was nuts. They were screaming like crazy. You never until this movie came out, you never seen a slice that looked so realistic. You know, it was the slice and you didn't see nothing until she kind of moved, closed her mouth, and then the slit split and the blood came out. It's freaking fantastic. Fucking Savini, man. Excuse my French. And then here's the bikini scene. Yeah, I turned it off. Anyway. You know, I really need to do whoa, zoomed in. I really probably should do a commentary on this. The snake scene, it's so natural. It's so really well done. It's like it would really happen. And then they're all shocked that he killed the snake.
I'm a messenger of God. If you stay here, this place is cursed.
Look at the neck. Look at his neck. The veins on his neck.
It's got a death curse.
Who are you?
You do.
God sent me. Get out of here, man.
Frickin' Ralph, man. He's got those veiny neck.
To stay.
He what's the deal with Ralph? How does he know something's gonna happen? Is he related to Mrs. Voorhees? I don't know, but you know, he's the character in the movie, the soothsayer. There's Ralph. You're all doomed. Here it comes. Here comes the classic scene. You know, that is just so cool. I gotta talk about it. And then we got the axe in the head scene coming up. But geez, Kevin Bacon, you know, that this was his first role, and to be spotlighted in one of the very best gore scenes put on film, the arrow through the neck. Although logistically, it's like you can't get a full arrow if you're under the bed. If you're Mrs. Voorhees, spoilers, and you're hiding under the bed. There's no way you're going to get a full arrow, so it would have to be a half arrow. And then putting it, I mean, that would take strength too, to go right through the back of the neck. I'm looking for logic in a 1980s, a 1979 horror film. I'm looking for logic. But anyway, it's just so great. So far, the music, Sean Cunningham, man. I mean, well, this was back in the day where you took time with things like this. You were building suspense, and there's a lot of visual scenes of just like the water, the lake, and the boats on the lake, and the trees. You know, it's all establishing suspension. Suspension. This is the she's in the John, and the axe is going to go right through her head here, and you don't really see it. You see it after the fact, just like the guy with the slit neck, and then the bow and arrow scene later. But yeah, this, just watching it again after many years, this has all the makings of a classic. It really does. It follows. Well, this was the first that established those beats of the horror slasher film, and it's been copied ever since. But it's just great watching it. October 1st, dude. People watching this, it's October 1st. It's the beginning of the Halloween month, our favorite time of the year, our horror fan favorite time of the year. That's horrifying. That's scary. That's pretty scary. That, help me, that child sound, like screaming, like help me. That would scare anybody. I hope I don't get in trouble. I hope I don't get in trouble for having the audio or video on here. But this is what I'm trying, and yeah, you know, most people will say, well, it's just dumb to go out in the middle of the rain in your nightgown. But she heard somebody screaming, help me, so she's out there. So the horror trope isn't as bad. But I'm loving it. So far, it's cool, man. So far. I've seen this a bunch of times. It's just, I haven't seen it in a long time, and it's a great way to kick off Halloween. Halloween! It's a great way to kick it off watching the original Friday. Here he is. And thus it starts. Now comes a lot of running around. And as a viewer, you're like, who the frack is killing everybody? It's like a murder mystery. Wrapped up in an enigma, wrapped up in a... No, I'm kidding. No, this is... And until the reveal, you don't know who's doing all the killing. You got some ideas, but there's no one left. It's just Annie. There's no one left. So who's killing everybody? Well, it could be the main counselor guy, or it could be people at the bar, or at that rest stop bar, whatever. Little do we know it's Killer Mommy. Spoilers.
Well, I'm Mrs. Voorhees, an old friend of the Christies.
Plot change. Rip off. A lot of people said that. A lot of people were like really disappointed. It was like, how can you have a murder mystery where you introduce the murderer in the final scene, who has nothing to do with the rest of the movie. Well, she has a lot to do with it, but you don't know that until you hear her history. Wow. Mrs. Voorhees. Help me, Mommy. I am. Wow. The great Betsy Palmer. And today is his birthday. His birthday is Friday the 13th, Jason's birthday. Yeah, the introduction of Betsy Palmer was kind of, I remember reading a lot of reviews, and a lot of people said it was kind of a ripoff, that they just introduce her at the very end and she's the killer. But I have no problem with it. It's I think they've done that now recently in horror movies, where they introduce somebody right at the very end that you never met. Although I don't think you see too many of that. Wow. This fight between Annie and Jason's mom, Betsy Palmer, is really good. For its time, it was really. I mean, I remember being in the theater and seeing this, and just with Halloween, the audience was just going crazy, screaming and yelling, and it was just a free for all. And I remember at the, I gotta say, and I'm sure I think the Legend of Geordie Verrill. I don't know if I have that name right. But it was that parody of a serial killer, like a pseudo-documentary. And he was talking about how you have to set up the dead bodies in different places to fall out and shock the person you're chasing. And there was always that, killer, mommy, killer. There was that always thing like, how did she have time to set up the body to fall in a certain way? And did she know that Annie was going to go there and see that body fall? But filmmaking, horror filmmaking. What was I saying? I was saying that, at the theaters, this was nuts. And that the final scene, which Jason jumping up and grabbing Annie out of the boat, was totally unexpected and made everybody jump like the Carrie, the hand coming out of the grave at the very end of Carrie, Brian De Palma's Carrie, had people jumping out of the seats. I mean, here we are. We're 1:20. We got about 10 minutes left, and it's the whole fight between Annie and Mrs. Voorhees. And it's a damn good fight, and it ends with of course the decapitation, and then the slow dreamlike scene in the boat. Why am I saying this? I can show this to you. You know this. You guys know this. What am I doing? So good. So good. All right, I'm going to get copyright problems. I got to turn this off. I don't want to have copyright problems. All right, here we go. Here we go. Wham, 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 wham. Floop. So cool. Look at that. One of our very best scenes in a horror movie. Lives on. Classic. Classic. And surprising, this movie was pretty panned when it came out. I believe Ebert and Siskel really ripped this movie a new a-hole, saying it was misogynistic and just so brutal and wrong. And I think they were kind of wrong, at least in the horror fans' comprehension of this film. And there's the sweet music, the sweet innocent music. Oh my God. And the beautiful mirrored shot. It is so beautiful. The mirrored shot of the boat and her with the hand in the water, and it's mirrored. It is just so beautiful. And the music is beautiful. Look at that. And the cops coming, and yeah, this fuck, man, this scared the fuck out of everybody in that theater. Everybody jumped. Everybody. It's so peaceful and dreamlike. You don't expect anything to happen other than her being saved. And here's the shot. It is so great. Just genius. Still terrifies today. Still makes you jump today. And what about the boy? The boy! You gotta save the boy! Wow. You know, yeah, I'm so glad I watched this. This is the 1st of October, as I said probably in the beginning and a bunch of 100 times. Yeah, this is a true classic horror film. Every year. Watch it every year. And there's a whole bunch of sequels, 10, 12 sequels, I don't know, but yeah, the original's classic, and that's what I'm watching the first day of the month of October. October 1st, I'm watching Friday the 13th, the first one, and you just were watching it with me, and someday I think I will do a commentary, because I could talk through this whole thing. But anyway, I just wanted to show you guys what I'm watching the 1st of October. Like I said, I don't know if I'm going to do this every day. I'm going to try. Just like Roger in Dawn of the Dead. I'm going to try not to. No, I'm going to try to make a video of what I'm watching, and I'm going to try to watch a horror movie every day of October leading up to Halloween. So this is your old pal Roger D from Channel Donstar, signing off, watching the end credits. Then he's still out there. He must still be out there. It's such a great Jason Voorhees. Who thought Jason would become a horror icon? And yeah, history has proved that to be true. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.